The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewers, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host Eunice Mugo. Today I've prepared a topic on what makes a perfect family holiday. On the show I have a guest who's going to help us understand more. How do you make your family holiday special? What are the things you do? What are some of the things that you participate? Our guest is going to introduce herself. Welcome, guest.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Pastor Paul Blessing. I am the director of Star with Paul, and I am a motivational speaker. I have a program that is Star with Paul, is motivates, inspires, and mentors. So today we are here to discuss on how to make a perfect family holiday, and let us go.
Welcome to the show, Pastor Blessing.
Thank you.
Please interact with us across all our social media network. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So, Pastor Blessing.
Yeah.
When you're talking about how to make our family holiday perfect, what is the family holiday?
Yeah, first thing is that we are getting into the holiday, Christmas holiday, which will extend even to the new year. And it is a season for holiday that brings families together, friends together, and even in so many ways that according to how people want it to be done. Usually, traditionally, it is a family time that you find people will come together as a family, those who have not met even for the whole year, and gather at home. Maybe traditional people go to their village. That's why you find that time nobody's in the city, and the city is totally deserted, because people traditionally, they go to visit the village. And it is a tradition. But what I would like to say is that we need to manage it, but don't just go into it with everything with your head and your feet. And remember this January.
Yeah,
Yes.
very true.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it is traditional.
Yeah.
Meaning that I have grown up when I grew up, I found it already, it is there. It is how it's supposed to be growing up. Is it written anywhere that we are supposed to gather as a family and travel outside the city and gather together as a family, as the extended family? Is it written, or it is us who has accustomed it for it to be that way?
Okay, Christmas is global. And officially, what is Christmas? Christmas is meant to remember the birth of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And usually, to bring it out, you need to express the love of Christ, which is in a very wide way. But traditionally, which tradition is what people used to do.
Yeah.
I can get an example. Someone used to make fish in a very small pan. And the husband, why do you use a small pan and you can still use a big one? Then they found the mother was using the same. The grandmother was used to use the same. The fourth one was still alive. Then they found the first one, there was no big one. And that's why they had to cut the head and make only
The small.
from the back. Going backward, because that's what the pan could fit. So it was just, tradition is because someone did and pass it to the other and pass it to the other. But it is not exactly static that we must go that way. Yes.
Given said that, is it now that we come together as a family traditionally, doing the things that we are used to do, the things that have been passed on, I think since now we are in a different generation, we'll find that there are those family members who opt not to go to gather together. There are those children who will say, we are so used to going to the village every now and then when it's Christmas. There are those who look forward to it. There are those who are excited. And there are those who are not excited, especially for the teenage children and the young adults. They're not willing to accept the traveling.
Yeah.
So you'll find that there are those who will say, if you guys are traveling, me, I'll stay behind. because they want to break the monotony of every now and then traveling. And you'll find that there are those families that they're changing now the trend. Instead of traveling, they ought to do something outdoors or travel to a family, small family vacation, the only family, instead of gathering now with the extended family. What is your take on that?
You know, sometimes there's always conflict, majority. You may find a half of the families that have traveled, they come and have conflict by the beginning of the year. Because, you know, usually there are two families. If it's a married family, it's a family of the girl and the family of the man.
Okay.
And you find everybody wants, every grandmother wants the children to be brought. And what they should do now, before that time, sit down and put down what you want to do. Don't conflict over it. And don't feel guilt to say no to something. If you're the man of the family and you feel maybe going all that way, spending too much, and we still have something to do in January, you can also choose on what to do, but agree. Don't make it something that maybe your father, let's say your father is so static men, say, I want to see all my children, and he forgets that he gave you out as someone's wife.
Yes,
then you find you start having conflict. And January comes and you are conflicting, and there are things to be done. So it's good to sit down and plan. Don't burden yourself by it because of tradition. Number two, sit down and plan. Don't do things because they are done. Do what you are able to do. And don't feel sorry to say no in life.
Sure.
That is what makes you who you are. Yeah. Do what you are able to do.
You said we don't stress over Christmas.
Yeah, don't.
This is the time we spend a lot. You'll find as a family, we've saved from January to December.
And clear.
You've saved purposely for Christmas because we have this norm of I'll have to have new clothes, have to go to the hair salon, do a new styles. Nowadays we do nails. We want to have the long nails so that when you go, we are not able even to get the cup from the table to the kitchen. That is when we are showcasing our fashion. We also have the single parents and those who are co-parenting. What do you have to say about those people?
Like, let's say for co-parenting. Of course, the children have been living maybe with their mother. So in Christmas, the father would like to take the children away. And you also want to take them to their grandmother. So that's why I'm saying sit and talk. Just dialogue over this. Because if you conflict now, January, you will be having long heads. And the budget was on the table. And you will have problems. So it is good always. So if it's a single, let's say we have single parent, who are a single parent, a man, a single parent, a woman. It's good, just choose where to go. But don't be bound that it's a must we go to the village. It's a must we go to Mombasa. It's a must, just choose.
Don't
make it different,
needs.
Then also try what you did last year. Don't do the same. Just try to make it fun, do something different. And through that way, the children will like it more. They will desire, what else can we have next time? But when you make it, they know on 22nd, we must travel to the village. They are like, wow, what is this? Okay, also churches are having programs. You find that sometimes you find the youth would like to have programs, their teens, with their teams in the camp and such things. So if there is that communication, it will be easy for everyone to enjoy the holiday and not to be pushed into a tradition and also come to find it is not possible.
Especially for the children who don't appreciate the tradition, because it's us, the parents, that knows the meaning and the value of the tradition given us to how we are brought up. So that brings me to this question, Pastor Blessing. You've said interacting also with the church and letting the kids be. To me, what would you say be letting the children participate in this, engaging them, asking them, what would you want to do for this Christmas? Do you think their views are as of more importance as for us parents?
Let me tell you, when you try to let your children start making decisions early, they become better people in their future.
And responsible.
And they'll be responsible, even choosing career and all that. Okay. They learn that my mother can allow me to even to direct some of the things. And you find they have great minds. Yes. But if it is like, we have to. And you look at the programs of churches now. By 15th, and maybe the last Sunday will be 19th or something like that. That will be closed because family have to travel. And people have to go all over, which is okay. But there are less privileged people. How? No, the CBC. they train these children how to visit the less privileged and how to minister to such people. You will find this child will desire, oh, my mother allow us to go to our children's home on a Christmas day and have fun with these children, because they have nowhere to call home and go on Christmas, but you pack and go to the village. And you find that you always do it on your own. And you know, when you extend your hand to the poor, you learn God. So why do you have a debt with God? Visit such people.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Now that you've mentioned remembering the less privileged, the less privileged in this manner, we are talking about the orphans, the widowed, the street children. How do we incorporate them? As a family, we are used to going to the village. How now do we bring, now you're making this perfect holiday, how do we accommodate them and embrace them as part of this holiday?
There's another part of people forget. Street children are remembered, widows and orphans and children's home are remembered. But let me tell you, the sick.
Yes.
Some of the sick people have been forgotten even by their people.
Yes.
They are in the hospitals, the bill is not being paid, and they are dumped. You don't want even to remember, because that bill you can't pay, let him belong to whoever belongs to.
True.
That person is depressed. He needs someone to show love. Not even money, even just to go, spend time and talk to them, show them the love of Christ, because this is the birth of Christ. What was he doing? He was expressing his love to people, healing the brokenhearted.
Yes.
How can you express that? Your family is with you always.
True.
Yeah, and it's not going anywhere. Can you express that and go find someone who has a real broken heart? Because it is not only the orphans and the widows only. There are people going through worse issues than an orphan and a widowed person. We should go to all of them. That's biblical. That's a true religion according to the Bible. True religion is taking care of the poor and the widows and such less privileged. So as we look at that, this season, if people can just stretch their hands, because life has not been easy since Corona up to this time. There are people going through very tough moments and they don't have hope. Others are even planning to kill themselves. You may visit someone and spare a life.
True.
That week they could have committed suicide.
True.
And it's not because you carried a lot of things, but you went to express the love of Christ to that person. And they will see it. Then your children will also learn, this is something good to do. They will see it as you do it. Not to tell them, you should take care of the poor, you should visit the sick, you should do this, but do it, let them see it.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, our children tend to do what we do as parents.
Yes.
So I'm feeling now that you've mentioned it, visiting the sick, going to the hospital, going to the children's home. When we show our children as an example, they can also adapt it as part of the culture, part of tradition.
Yeah.
In other parts of the country, we have the Thanksgiving. It's also part of the holiday. You'll find that the Thanksgiving, it's a moment of saying thanks. Now the Christmas and the New Year's, all these are holidays. Involving them, we have issues of depression. Like you mentioned, people killing themselves, people committing suicide. Those in the hospital left abandoned. Now, showing them love, and we're saying also how to minimize on the cost. We have a family budget of, maybe we are cooking chapatis, that's the tradition of Christmas, Cooking chapati, cooking rice. A normal meal, or the normal setting of the budget meal that you had set aside for your family, you can still do it. Take it to the hospital, share the meal. Also, if you have to go an extra mile, you'll find that maybe the amount of money you're going to use as transport, if you convert it to the meal side of it and visit the people, as you had mentioned it right before, it will be more impactful and helping the sick and also them feeling part of the society. In regards to that, the children learning and also giving back, how do we now bring in also the medics, also the people who are hosting them? How now do we incorporate them to feel also the security personnel? We also get to forget them, but I have seen that recently we tend to remember them. How now do we cooperate them all, now not looking and pointing fingers at each other?
One thing, don't just wake up and just carry your chapatis and go to an hospital, because it's an institution with rules and regulations.
Yeah, sure.
So me, I've done it. So what you usually do if you want to do such a thing, you visit the hospital earlier and you show you show how you want to do it.
Okay.
Then if they allow you, they can ask you to put in writing and show maybe it's a church where you are coming from. They can be able to investigate and know. You know, some people have different things of doing things. You may go there with the purpose even to kill people.
Yeah,
you never
sure.
know. So but that desire, let me tell you, even Abraham did not sacrifice actually Isaac. But when he had already planned to do it and he was ready, before God he sacrificed. So in case that hospital does not give you audience, you had already offered the sacrifice. Even you extend it to somewhere else, which is okay, it is okay. But it is possible. But you have to go through the authorities. Don't just wake up and carry chapatis.
Yeah,
You'll be disappointed.
Yeah,
but it is possible. I've done it.
Okay.
I've done it and I've seen it. It is really touching. Let me just share it how I did it mine, so may encourage someone.
Okay.
The last year Christmas, I approached the Nairobi Spinal Injury Hospital. And I felt like those people, you know, most of them are bedridden, and they wanted just to share love of Christ with them. And I have a band. So I went with my band. We entertained them with music. We cooked, we ate with them, with the staff and all the workers in the place. And it was a good moment. It was really touching. And they really felt good because, you know, some of them, they are from fathers from other countries, others from, but you find someone bedridden for more than 2 years, majority families, they tend to kind of get tired. So I remember that only one family came to visit. Only one family. So it happens. So those kind of people, they need that to be shown that kind of love. Yes.
And this now, other than making it perfect for your family, you've grown outside the norm. You've also made it perfect for those people. They have a Christmas to remember. And when they're saying thank you to God, they're saying
They
it
remember me.
more, and the blessings are following you. I think now, as a society, as a family, we should embrace this and teach our children how to go about it.
Even the Bible says, when you remember the poor, the day you cry, God will hear.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you ignore them, when you cry, God will not hear you.
Yeah, true.
So because, you know, he is the father of the orphans,
Yes.
and the husband to the widows,
widowed.
and the poor people. So when you touch them, you lend him. So he has a debt. You have a debt. Yeah. There's something you can stand before God and say, uko na deni yangu nilipe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so true.
Family, I'm not against people gathering as a family, but we have all the time to do that. Our families are ours. That particular time, Christmas is rememberable to everybody in the world. Let them remember someone visited us, showed us love. Yes.
That is so powerful. Viewers, are you learning a lot like I am? Touching the heart of others, showing love and giving, lending back to God when you're visiting the less privileged. We are going to take a short break. We'll be back to continue talking more about this. Continue sending in your question to 21144 across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. We'll be back shortly.
Everywhere GBS.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Chungu cha Jamii. Before we went on a break, we were talking about what makes a perfect family holiday. On the show, I have a guest who was helping us to understand how to make it perfect. And Pastor Blessing was telling us how to share, how to make it memorable for the less privileged, for the sick, for the orphans. And Pastor Blessing, other than going out of our way and doing something different from the normal routine, I was feeling that we spend so much. Now we are saying we embrace how to go away, out of our way, to have the new tradition of helping and sharing our Christmas with others. As a couple, as a family, how do we put importance of traditions of families. Now, we have two families of the married couples, the husband sides and the wife sides. How do we balance?
Yeah, that's very important because you cannot ignore either. That's why sometimes we can say, maybe last season we visited this side. The other season we go to the other side. Because you plan to do both of them at the same time. Okay, depending on the ability, because people have different ways, levels of ability to do things. There's someone who will do the less privileged, do the lady side, do the father side, and even have others do it. But usually for the normal package, it's a normal budget for a normal family, a normal income in the country. It is good, okay, to sit, as we say, sit down and plan early, agree, just have a dialogue on it. If it's co-parenting, also the same, because that time if the children have been living with the mother, the father wants to have them out and he wants to go with them alone. Usually maybe they don't want to do it together. In co-parenting, you find some people, they don't want to be together. So it is about how you plan it. You agree and you plan it early. Because if you can't start planning on that day, usually conflicts arise.
True.
Yeah, usually there are a lot of conflicts that arise during seasons because of spending. You need this, there's a lot of pressure. Na mimi nifanyie hii unapata. So, but if you plan it, it becomes easy. And you plan knowing there's days after. But also, even in the budget, if you plan to do something for the less privileged, it can never be a loss. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 9, verse 22, chapter 22, verse 9, the generous will be blessed because they share their food with the poor. There is no day you will share with the poor and lose. It always comes back hundredfold. So that will never be a loss. Yeah. So anything that you spend for your family is your responsibility. But what you do to the kingdom is what will count.
Yeah.
And that is what brings blessings.
Yeah.
So that budget, I don't think that it has nothing, it can affect. Okay, you will budget and you will use. But I'm telling you, you'll get a cupful back. Yes.
You'll get double blessing, double portion because
it is a promise. You know God, when God speaks, he does.
Yeah, true. His word is never going in vain, no matter what.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to ask and to maybe understand, when you're planning, you say we plan prior. Is it important when you have plan A and plan B?
Yeah, you should. You know, it's a long time.
Okay.
Season of Christmas does not start on the 25th.
Yeah,
Some people even they break for holidays on 15th, others on 18th, others on 20th.
Okay.
So between that time up to 30th, you have a long time. You can plan, this day we are doing this. This we are visiting even our pastors. This we are visiting even old people. This we are visiting you according to your budget. But as you do it, just know that. Don't overspend. As we said, some people save the whole month, the whole year, and clear everything on Christmas.
True.
But there's January. It's waiting for you.
January to come.
Yes, yeah.
And children are going back to
school.
school. Okay, another thing I have seen, Christmas or this holiday brings a lot of pressure, expectations from the family, expectations from the kids as well. And maybe you're in budget or out of budget. Then how do we make it now healthy for you as a person, so that amidst the pressure, amidst the expectation, you don't fall sick, you don't be unhealthy? How do you plan on that?
You get depressed.
Yes, especially depression because of the expectations of the family. Maybe for the married, I can give the example by them. You expected A, B, C, D from your wife's sides. Also the wife, the husband's family is expecting A, B, C, D. And maybe you're not in a position to match up either financially or responsibilities-wise. Because there are those people who will say, it's Christmas, I want to rest, I want me time.
Yeah.
I want to recuperate from the normal schedule working programming from January to December. Now I want to just rest.
Yeah.
There are those who opt not to go for all those celebrations, just to be
Just
indoors, sleep. If I have to eat, I'll just eat what I have, not go out of my way. Now, being healthy and being in good shape, how now do we carve about it or carve around it in regards to the expectations?
We have to alter this tradition of holidays, because even the Bible says a man shall leave his father and mother and join to his wife. So the wife lives already and the man has left. Yeah. So this is a kingdom. It's like leaving your kingdom and going to serve other kingdoms.
True.
If if there is that budget, it is okay. But don't make it a burden. Let this tradition not become a burden to you. And don't feel guilty saying no. As a man of the family, don't be cowed by what will they say. What will they will not understand us. Just living a lie. Live you, be you. Because if you go out of your way, spend more than what you should spend, then you will have problems at the end, and they will not come to help you. And you know that movement, sometimes you find you move to different places with cold, other places with hot climates, and by the end of it, you may find yourself sick. So you need to plan, and you know when you overwork your mind by thinking and planning and trying to make people happy, you end up in depression. So let me tell you, it starts with you. Take care of self. Let it extend to others.
When you're saying we take care of self, when you say we don't be afraid of saying no, we have parents who, our parents...
Tradition.
Not even tradition, emotional blackmail. It is what drains us.
Yeah.
Because if you're emotionally blackmailed, you remember my parent, you remember to honor a parent at that particular time. Maybe you've been busy with work. You have no time even to go visit. You're a new parent. You want to balance your family. You want to bring your family to a stable family. Here there is a kid. You also want to see yourself away from the traditions. And here is a parent, either from the both side. Emotional blackmail to me comes in this way. The man's side. The mom is blackmailing me emotionally. You're married to this family. In this family, we do A, B, C, D.
You have to
I'm
be here.
expecting.
24th, you come and cook.
Yes. There is the in-law. That is blackmail. This other hand, there is my family. They might tend to understand. They might also tend to blackmail me. Yeah? You should show your man that you respect your mother. You should show your man, this is how we do it. Now you're torn in between.
You are married.
Yes.
You are in a kingdom of this man. You can't bring the issues of your family, not unless you dialogue and there is communication and agreement. But you can't come, you're already married, you left your family, then you come and say, you know, my father said every Christmas he has to see his children. This is not your child, this is someone's wife.
Yes. Now
Yes.
I'm married, there is blackmail from both sides. Now,
You say no.
we have dialogue. Us as a couple, maybe we had opted. We had a busy year. Maybe we have a small
We need to
child.
go for holiday.
We don't want, even going for holiday is one, or we don't want to go to the rural area to be with them. We want, as the small family, it's me, the husband, and maybe the small kid. We want to bond because we've been busy. Now, how do we break this news to our family? In as much as we are not afraid of saying no, how then do we say no with a lot of love and not receiving the hate and the criticism after the holiday?
Okay. Yeah, it happens. But let me tell you, if you don't learn to say no, you have not started living. You are living a lie. And you better stop. Because once you got married and you started your own family, those are others.
True.
They need their respect, but they need to understand.
Sure.
Yes. So what do we do? Just say no, but with respect. Look for a way on how to bring it out. Don't lie, because when you lie, you'll also become guilty that you have lied. Yes.
Now, when you become guilty of lying, now it's building a relationship out of lie.
But it's you, it is your family. Learn to be firm. We are not able to come. As a family, there's something we are doing. So please excuse us with all due respect.
With all due respect.
The end of the story. Yeah.
Now, there is this other aspect of making the best out of every gathering. Does it mean it only has to be family? And if you're breaking the monotony of now going outside the normal tradition, how do we make it to be more impactful and to be more memorable of every gathering. And for us and also our kids to look forward to every Christmas or every
and desire
holiday.
it.
Yes, and desire it, and not be bored.
Yeah.
Make it more lively. How do we go about it now?
Even let's say you look at your children, the ages of your children, because you cannot carry a child into an hospital and find an emotional person who is crying. That will not be good for them.
True.
So you look at what the age of your children, what touches them. In fact, the other places that people forget, the home of the old. There are people who got tired with their old parents and take them to the home of the old and dump them there to be taken care by those people. That's another place to go. Then you look at those people, they give you their stories, they talk to you, they have a blessing in them. And you can visit such people. It will be memorable for children to know it's good to take care of your parents. Like I think one of my daughters likes visiting home of the old. Say there's a man they found, he said he has 11 children and they're all alive. But it's already in an old home.
In an old home.
Because they felt like he has become a burden. 11 of them. They could have got a nurse to take care of him at their home, but they felt he's a burden. You see? So when you take them there, they learn. This time will come. What will I be able to do myself? Will I like my parents to bring my parents to a place like this? You see, you hear those stories. You see? So it becomes memorable when you make the right choice on where to take them and how to do it. They are like you have said. There's a friend of mine who told me that what they do, they go and look for old people in the village, bring them together, eat with them, dance with them, talk to them, cause them to dance and be happy. And they also look for sick families, where there's a sick person bedridden in a home. They go there, clean the compound. After that, you feel you have touched a life, touched a family. You are showing them, continue taking care of this person. Yeah, he can come out of it, he may go, but it's a blessing. You show them, then you leave an envelope for them to take care of that person. So there's a lot to be done. There's a lot.
A lot.
Yeah,
lot. That is so true. And so touching when you say, go visit them to their homes, go do something impactful to them.
Yeah.
When you mentioned about your daughter loving to go visit the
home of the old,
and this man here has 11 children and no one is visiting them. When do we, how do we bring it home for one to understand that this is a responsibility, a privilege for you to take care of your old parents and not an it's an obligation and not how do I put it now? It's not
a burden.
A burden, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You know, people have different views of seeing things, especially when you are many. You start, who does it, who doesn't do it. And people just want to have their own pleasure. But let me tell you, a day you'll come, you'll be the same age. What do you expect? And let me tell you, what you do to others, it will come to you. Yes. So if you stretch your hand to be a blessing, let me give you an example. As I've said, I visited that hospital. This year, I fell in the bathroom. Mostly people fall in bathroom, they don't wake up. Others, they break their back, I tell you, it was amazing. It's like there were angels in the bathroom. Because I remember when I was going down, it was like in a twinkle and on 1 second, I was like, I'll break my leg, I'll break my back. What will happen? Who will open the door? How will the door be opened? Because I've locked it. But I tell you, it was like someone coiled me. And you can see my weight.
Yeah.
So in between, there was a tap and another metal, those pipes that they don't finish. And I had not even seen it. But when I fell, I was like between the tap and that metal. I was coiled in between. Then I tried to wake up. I found I can stand. I looked. I not scratched, nothing.
It's a miracle.
I stood up. I opened the door. But it was very amazing. A friend of mine, a pastor, had visited, and she was in the sitting room. So she felt the bug, and she had given birth by cesarean section. She said that operation shock, and it's like she was getting opened. So she got the impact, but me, I did not. I walked out. Say, surely, angels are with me. So maybe that visit I made to someone like that was meant to save me on a day like this.
Okay.
Many people fall in bathroom, they don't even wake up.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So you do it for a rainy day.
I'm saving it for a
You
rainy
sometimes,
day.
people, it's good celebrating at home, it's okay, but sometimes you find at the end of it, people are fighting.
True. And when you fight, you're left with a lot of trauma and a lot of problems.
You come more confused than you went.
More, actually, it's more
Not
confusing.
everywhere, but
majority,
some of them.
majority.
Because of financial strains.
Exactly. Right now, we are in that crisis, financial crisis. As a nation, we are going through that phase of financial strain. And you'll find that even as a man or as a couple or as a family, you're just looking for that loophole to something that you'll hold on to say, you didn't do this bit part of you. Now, I'm also not going to do this part. When you mention this family of 11 children, and even within our family, we tend to do things when we're looking out on the other person. I'm in a position to do it, but again, I don't do it because I'm looking at you. What are you doing? How do we break that of looking and pointing fingers towards each other and just do your responsibility, do your part, do the bit that you can. I'm able to do 1 to 2 to 3. I'm not able to do 4 to 5 going onwards. How now do I break from this of looking? If so-and-so is not doing, I'm also not going to do. So
I've seen different families, there are people who even set an allowance. Everybody gives this amount, and they set salaries for the father and the mother. Apart from taking care of them, they give them pocket money salaries. They pay them. There are others who say, this month it is you, or they gather and say, let us contribute this amount of money, make sure there's everything that we need. There are those who forget completely. There are those who get married and marry a wife who doesn't care, doesn't want you to hear talking about your parents. And if you cow into that, you are gone. And let me tell you, your parents are your second God. God made one man, and he partners with parents to create. So that is your second God. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, there's a curse that is falling on you.
True.
The Bible says, honor your father and your mother. It shall be well with you, and you shall live long. So health and long life is not in eating well and doing exercise. Just honor your parents.
Honoring.
Yeah, honor them.
When you honor your parents,
you'll be good. You'll be good.
True. That is so wise and so deep.
Yeah.
When you honor your parents, they are your second God.
Yeah.
You honor them. You get the blessings that it is pertained with honoring your parents.
Yes.
And now, in regards to that, Pastor, when you say those who forget, those who put on this, you'll find that in a family setup, we are not balanced. There are those of us who are financially stable and those who are not. Those who are new family, those who are just married, we're in the new family setup. And we are not able to match up to the kind of family we are being told to match up to, the responsibilities. Before you answer that, how do we go about it? How do we match up now? You said there is salary. Maybe there's this amount X that is being told, or maybe I'm being told next month it's you to put up. I'm not in a position. I'm straining. How do I communicate
But
it?
we know each other. If you are siblings, somebody can say, I don't have children in school. My brother has children in school. So he is planning of school fees, and I am not. That is common sense. I take it up. You don't need to push someone who has and you don't have at the moment. We know each other.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
on that
siblings.
note, let's take a short break.
Yes.
We'll come back shortly.
Okay.
Viewers, we are going on a short break. We'll come back from where we have left it, understanding our siblings, understanding our families, and how to help each other in this time. We'll be back shortly.
Everywhere GBS.
Welcome back, viewers. I'm your host, Eunice. Before we went on a break, for those who've just joined us, we are talking about how to make a perfect family holiday. And on the show, I have with me Pastor Blessing, who is helping us to understand a lot more on how to make a a perfect holiday out of the normal tradition that you are used to. Before we went on a break, Pastor, we were talking about this family that some are less privileged, and you are helping us to understand that our family members know us, knows how when we are going through challenges. But again, we'll find that there are those who are afraid of sharing our challenges, maybe because of being mocked, being looked down upon. In as much as we are sibling, there is that tendency of masculinity. You find that this one who is well off is well ready to masculine and showing that I'm in a position to show to take care of the parents, and me on the other hand, I'm not in a position to do that, and I feel intimidated and not able to voice out my opinion, my say, because even if I voice out, I have nothing to give. I only have ideas, I only have wise words maybe to share, but to implement it, I'm not in a position to do it.
Okay, usually in Kenyan families or African families, there are those people, they don't agree. You find siblings are in war, like they are fighting for nothing. And there are those who can sit and agree. If someone is able and maybe take in and take care of the parents, and you know you don't have money, you can offer, maybe when something is to be taken home, you offer to go. That's when you are in agreement. But maybe they are looking down on each other. But if when we were going on break, I was saying that whether you don't tell us or you tell us, if you are my sister, I know whether you have children in school, and I know the kind of income you have. You may try to hide, but I will know whether you are able, you are not able. So there is no need for you to push you to strain. Well, maybe I am able to stand in for you, because after your children clear school, you'll be able also to come in. So this is about dialogue, but there is fighting. But these things started from the beginning. You find even Esau and Jacob, they are fighting. There is nothing new in
fighting and
in
siblings,
the family.
family.
So these things are there. So the most important thing is that don't fight until you starve your parents while fighting. The other thing is, even during that Christmas, sometimes we go home, celebrate and eat what we brought. Eat all, then you will leave those parents with nothing to eat. In fact, they are getting a goat to sell to help you to go back to the city. So you end up, it's not a blessing. So you need to do things with moderation. Everything has to be done with moderation. Yeah, I've seen people who go, at the end of it, you start spending from the parents. Yes.
We say too much of everything is poisonous.
Yeah, moderation is key.
Because now if you don't moderate, now the parents now are going back again to their maybe saving or maybe selling the goat, as you've just said, for them to support us with transport. Again, and we were the one to go with the parental blessing of, now we are leaving them with now headache of we have nothing left. It was a blessing having the children around. But now it's no longer a blessing, but also a complaint and murmuring. Now this one, they came, they are now.
Okay, parents will be happy even if you clear, even if they use theirs to help you to go, they'll be happy to see you, which is a blessing. And that is why usually people gather to go and make them happy. You know, when they see you and they say, God bless you. That word, when your mother, your father says, God bless you, it's something you can't get on the highway. It comes from the heart, and that is life to you, because that is a source of your life. So, but moderation, as we said. So don't go spend, clear, and even draw from them, and you come, you find at home you have not even paid your rent, because we said people have different levels of life. Yeah, moderation is key.
Moderation and responsibility. Yeah, very true. And then another thing I wanted to ask you, Pastor, at what moment during this holiday do we take to disconnect and reconnect with our families? Because you'll find that with a normal family or the modern family that we are having now, both parents, we are so busy that we've left our children with the caregivers. We don't have time for them. Do you feel that this is the right time to disconnect from the world and from the normal routine and reconnect with our kids? Yes, and make impactful life lesson to the kids?
Yeah, you know, on a serious note, Kenyan parents are very busy. And you find that, I remember during Corona, a certain child asked a mother, kwani dadi anaishi na sisi siku hizi? So, because this guy will leave very early and come late when they are sleeping. He was sleeping in the same day every day, but the child only see him on Sunday. So he's already stressed, he's already overworked. You need also to rest. And this is a knowledge that have been given. Then you go and overwork yourself, get even home and go to the garden, you start digging, and you come exhausted and confused, and there's no time to bond with your own children. If it is possible, this is the right time. Balance that time. If you must see your parents, see them, but also gain time for your children. They need to talk to you. I don't know whether I told you, a child asked his father, how much are you paid per day? And he said, and the boy started saving. And even borrowed the father and asked, why are you saving? I want to pay you one day to be with us. We don't see you. Yeah.
That is
That
so
man had
deep.
to change. Yeah, had to change.
That is so deep.
They don't see us. Then at the end of it, holiday, you remember your father and your mother. These children live with you, but they don't know you.
True.
They need to see you. They need to know you. They need to bond. Sit down and allow that child to talk to you. Let that child ask you questions. Just look at a Kenyan family. Find a father sitting and having a conversation with the child. Because they are very bright. They source a lot from the internet. The world is become a small village in their hand. They have things to ask. Even when they go to school, there are things that they need to come and ask you, but you are not available.
Yeah.
And you think you are doing a lot looking for their money to educate them in good schools, but you are not there for them. They need you.
They don't have the
Yes,
impact
yes.
and the,
That
the,
one-
the, the
that man
values.
changed. Yeah, he had to change.
Yeah, that is so touching,
Imagine.
actually. I've never heard of that because when your child thinks to that extent,
It was 7 years old, you can imagine.
you can imagine now.
Yeah.
If a 7-year-old could think in that line, you're also missing out as a parent.
Yeah, I'm missing out. And you don't like it. You think you are doing the best just to maximize, to make them happy. But they need you. Yes. So time for them is very important. Sit down, let's have a talk.
True,
What do you think? What do you think you want to do? What do you think I should do that I've not done? Have that heart to heart, man to man, woman to woman talk. But time, where is the time?
There is no time.
There's no time.
That was so touching. That was so impactful, actually. When you now think of a 7-year-old thinking in that dimension.
And
that
saving to
shows-
pay you.
Saving to pay you as a parent. For you to have, for the child to have time with you. It is so eye-opening, actually. And now to see how our children are so wise.
Yeah, wise.
And also showing us as parents that they're not interested with the money that you're bringing home,
They
but
need
rather they are interested with the values and the time that we spend together with them. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. Would you give us a parting shot on that?
It's okay. Yeah. The other thing is that as we talk about bonding and being together, even when we are together, you find on a dining table and you are on the internet, someone, the other one is in Asia, the other in Australia, another one in Europe, in the same table. People need to know each other. We have become strangers in our own houses.
Yeah.
And we are running now how to go far away, but here we are needed. So as much as we go to the village and go and share with others and share with the less privileged, let us find time for our own. Yeah, even man and wife, they don't know each other. They have become strangers in their own house and they are married. They are making money to make their family, but they need time with them. And also yourself, you need time with yourself. The me time, it's very important. This time, try to get time. Talk to God, because God needs also. He's also lonely. He needs us. We are too busy for him. Yeah, need some me time, meditate on the word, and we listen to God. He'll give you direction, and that life will be busy. And God bless you. Thank you so much. For those who came late, my name is Pastor Paul Blessing. I'm the director of Star with Paul, and I thank God. You can get me on Star with Paul on YouTube and Star with Paul on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Paul Blessing, for coming. I've learned a lot. Viewers, I hope you've learned as much as I have. Have your me time. Have time with God. Have time with your immediate family, your husband, your kids. Don't let your kids go to the extent of paying you for you to have time with them. That has really touched my heart. We've come to the end of the show, our viewers. Let's continue with this conversation across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We've learned a lot. We've taken home a lot of points and how to make it perfect for our family. We are going to make it a different one this year. I hope you're going to make it as well a different one, putting in mind what we have learned today. Until next time, bye-bye.